Hello everybody, I'm Skamax here. Finally, I went on my first international flying trip to Valle de Bravo, Mexico. I went with a local group called Paraglide New England. If you're interested, I'll post the link in the description below. Everything was taken care of, including transportation from and to airport, lodging and transportation to the flying site. All I had to do is just get there and fly. So it was gearing up to be a very nice trip, but it's a stressful thing doing its first time, especially with all the air travel and COVID and tests and So I was pretty stressed out about the whole experience, from packing new gear, never done that, how it's gonna get through the customs and airlines and all that stuff, to the fact that it's a new country. I don't know the language, I don't know the culture. How am I going to deal with all this? Exciting and stressful at the same time. The air travel takes pretty much whole day, from early morning in Boston to late at night in Valle de Bravo. Trip from Mexico airport to Valle de Bravo took us 3 hours with all the traffic that we hit. The launch at El Pinon is pretty nice. It's all grassy area, very steep slope, very easy to launch. Now let's see how this first flying day went. My first international flying trip. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get my gear ready and see what happens. See you in there.
Nice work, Max. Friendly reminder to the newer pilots, the hang gliders, just remember they cannot see you if you're above those. It's a little thing that you forget.
I launched, I went up, I started to relax, and everything started going well. There was so many paragliders in the air, maybe 30 or 40, and all circling in the same thermal. It was pretty stressful right there. I managed, but I wasn't efficient. So by the time all the instructors and the group got up, I was low. I wasn't worrying about it because lift was everywhere. I kind of figured out where the trigger points were from the discussion before and from experiencing it that day. But they went somewhere and I wasn't sure where they went. I listened on the radio. Names of the places weren't making much sense to me because I immediately forgot what's where. I went to El Pinon. This is a big rock right in front of launch. It takes some effort to get there safely. It took me a couple of attempts to get there. I made the face right away, but couldn't climb on the face. Wasn't really trying to get too close to it and wasn't climbing fast. Well, I tried to transition to Pinon, the rock over here in the mountain, and I couldn't get up, so I went back toward launch, got a good thermal again, and now I'm above it. So that's cool, this way, so I can get high over there and then on a glide. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we'll try. 8300 MSL. Shit. And there I climbed really high. I climbed all the way to the cloud base. I figured out right away that really high doesn't mean much in this place. I was at 11K MSL, but my AGL was 3-4K. It's high mountains there, with AGL is really not that high. So flying is challenging. Any place you go, you get low over the ground pretty quick. What a view! Look at that! Three Kings, I think. That's what it's called. Jeez! Us! 9200, pretty good, pretty good. I don't know about you, but for me it's always hard to make a mental map of surroundings. I stared at the Google Maps and I listened what other pilots had to say, where to fly, how to fly, where the danger is. I absorbed some of it. The most obvious part, like what's in front of launch, where the potential rotor is, to watch their wind direction and all that stuff. But as far as the cross-country flying is concerned, I wasn't sure exactly how to fly, what's the best route to go to the lake, for example, or if we can go somewhere else. Well, as usual, I got disoriented and a little bit lost, but it was good. I mean, I went around the mountain here and there. There were a bunch of other paragliders around. It's probably the most turbulent air I was in my flying. Oh man, I'm at 10,000 feet MSL. Anyway, trying to figure out my way. Getting into the cloud here. I still can see the ground. Okay, skirting that cloud around. Oh, jeez. And now I'm a huge sync. Of course. That's expected. So I was by myself. I couldn't find my group anymore. I couldn't really understand on the radio where they went. So I wasn't going to chase them. And then I went on a glide. And pretty quickly I figured out, you know what? I'm landing pretty soon. Tried a few triggers, it's not working. So what did I do? I completely forgot that I was in another country. I was like, okay, there is a pasture there, looks safe enough. I'm gonna land there. Like in New England, I just went and landed in this pasture. Packed my wing, nobody bothered me, there were no people. So I checked on the map where I was. Fortunately, before the trip, I remembered to load Google Maps, so even if I didn't have service, the cell service, I could check where I was, and that really was helpful because I saw where the next road was and started hiking that direction. I immediately found myself behind a huge fence. Well, first flight I made a couple of good decisions, and one not very good, put me on the ground. I mean, I was comfortable landing in a known field and all. I checked the LZ, but it's a animal farm. I checked the map where the closest road was and had to climb a fence. Ended up in a very expensive looking ranch. Found myself behind a very tall fence. Managed to get through without breaking anything. Jeez, what a sport and what an idiot I am. At least I have my GPS tracker with me, so send a message. People gonna get me. Ooh, otherwise it would be double idiot. Not much Spanish. I have a Google translator with me. If it's that enough, I'm not sure. Anyway, all is well that ends well. Hopefully I'll make less stupid decisions next time. See you around. We had some lunch and went back to El Pinon for a nice evening glass off. Around 3-4 p.m. It really was blowing in nicely, easy, relaxing air.
Oh, there.
But I can't, I don't remember your wing yet. That was nice and relaxing, right?
Yeah, I was playing with stuff,
Yeah. I had a lot
just
of
doing
fun.
nothing.
I got the cloud base, I got cold. Hey, that's not a hang glider, you know. Dude, it's a paraglider. Get a hang glider.
The second session was just, walking around like a glass off. Was awesome. Very relaxing air, trying different things, and just enjoying the views. The views are spectacular. El Piñon in the background. Sunset. A pretty good day. A little bit intense in the morning and relaxing in the evening. Perfect 2 flights. See you next day.
That was the end of the first day, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers! It was pretty big fence, like 6-7 feet, but there was a tree right next to it. I climbed the tree, dropped on the other side, and found myself in the most meticulously groomed farm or ranch that I ever seen. And I figure out I'm totally screwed here because rich people live here obviously, and they will not be amused by some paraglider dude not speaking language dropping from the sky, and I'm obviously not landing there because there was no place to land on that ranch. But obviously trespassing. So I didn't even think to taking my camera or filming it because I was like, I need to get out before anyone notices me. I found the gate. Fortunately it was on the back side of this ranch, nobody was around. There was enough opening for me to squeeze through without backpack, without my paraglider. I hiked a little bit, huge wall, 9 feet wall at least, 9-10 feet. There no way to climb over. But next to it was another wire fence, which was probably 6 feet tall. So I could throw my backpack over it. And that's what I did. I threw it over, ran toward that opening, squeezed myself through, picked up my bag and started hiking there. It was a public road, started hiking that. So that was pretty stressful. To add to that, I didn't have cell service on my phone. Couldn't call anybody or post my location because my cell provider didn't connect to the local network and I didn't have time to buy a SIM card. Fortunately, I had my inReach tracker, the satellite tracker, with me, and I was able to send messages through that. That's a lifesaver. I'm so happy I bought it this year. So I sent a message to Retrieve group and they picked me up in an hour. I hiked maybe 3-4 miles by that time, which I didn't mind. It was nice to hike and relax after all this excitement.